very simple in its kind of raw form, but there's just so much technicality that goes into making it work effectively.
Monica Vinader.
Yeah, that was a very
all curated, yeah.
motif, yeah, definitely. Better.
I assume they were very happy with it.
Yeah, we never saw them again, but did the job.
Happy enough. In this video, we're going to jump into a project that Josh was the producer on, and I'm going to quiz him on how he shot this project for Monica Vinader. They were a new client for us, weren't they?
Yeah.
This shoot. This is his first project. How did they get in touch with us for this one?
So they just emailed us out of the blue. They were opening a new store in Leeds, and they had a really specific idea, and it was a bit of a kind of a store reveal. They wanted to do a earth zoom where you would see a piece of their jewellery, one of their products, and then the camera would immediately just zoom out massively to reveal like a kind of bird's eye view of Leeds as a full city.
Let's have a quick watch again now. That was pretty seamless, actually. I actually keep trying to find the cut. No, it looks really good. It's nice. I love these sort of videos where, although on paper, when you first look at them, it's a short video, and it seems kind of simple, but actually there's a lot going on here, and it's really effective. Yeah, it's nice.
It's definitely one that I look back on as being like a technical edit, in as far as there's not that much to put together. You're not having to think about building a story out of it or making sense of hours and hours of interview footage. It's very simple in its kind of raw form, but there's just so much technicality that goes into making it work effectively.
So there was a bit of production for this, wasn't there?
It was just a half day of filming in Leeds city centre on Briggate. Kind of like two halves really. We did a top-down shot of essentially an unboxing of one of their pieces of jewellery, which is kind of interesting because, as you can see on here, it's basically just on the floor. So it's bang in the middle of Briggate, one of Leeds' most busy high streets, kind of peak times in the day, I suppose. And we've just got someone kind of like on the knees on the tiles, on the cobble essentially. We had quite a wide lens on it so that we could at least have a bit of play with that as well. So it was almost like there was increments of making it, swapping lenses out and just making it wider and wider.
So it's not straight
shots.
Straight to drone.
Yeah, it doesn't go straight from the unpacking shot to the drone.
Did you have any issues with like droning in the centre of town?
So we did have to get proper permissions to do the drone filming, and then you pay for it in something like 2-3 hour blocks. So the bonus of that was that once we'd wrapped the shoot, we just hung around for an hour and flew the drone around in circles and got lots of nice Leeds cityscape shots that we didn't previously have.
I mean, considering you had like a few hours window, you've got some pretty good weather for it.
I think I'm fairly sure this got cancelled maybe twice.
Right.
There was a bit of a contingency in the booking, which was fine for us because we were in Leeds, but the guys that we were filming it with, they travelled all the way up from London, so I think they'd already had like 1 or 2 cancelled bookings on that front. But I guess that's just the nature of the shoot, isn't it?
Like when you went into it, I guess you knew kind of what you needed from the drone shot.
Yeah, it was literally, I knew that all it was going to be on the drone was just a kind of accelerate up, I guess, just like increase the altitude of it, so there's no movement other than that. As fast as possible, going from ground level or as close to ground level as you can go with it, straight up to that maximum altitude.
You're basically leaving this piece of jewellery, it's probably worth hundreds, if not more.
Yeah, so there's an instant
just left in the
street. There's an instant with the drone where we're stood probably about 20-30 metres away from it, and we're just trying to keep people away because they'll ruin the shot. But yeah, that was a slight worry that in that moment some guy was just going to like absolutely pelt it right into the middle of the shot and run out with the jewellery.
At least you'd have them on camera.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like you really do go up into the sky, but I'm assuming you didn't fly that high. So yeah, at what point is end footage and become sort of this sort of wide global effect? How did you do that?
It's essentially layers and layers. So like I said, with that top-down shot that we started with, that was on 35mm, and then we went onto a wider lens and a wider lens again, and then it transitioned to the drone shot. In those transitions, you are keeping that central part of the shot and then masking it and feathering it out so that they can kind of all blend as you zoom further and further out.
I've just clocked that basically the tiles on the floor sort of probably helped with the transition, but they replicate the sort of the wider tiles of the street itself. So it's
What, the
sort of
crisscross of it?
Yeah, the crisscross.
Yeah, that was a very
all
considered
curated. Yeah.
motif. Yeah, definitely. So essentially, I did the same as we go into the Earth zoom as well, which was different screen caps of GPS imagery of Leeds. There is ways you can do it. There's definitely software out there, and probably more so and more accessible now, where you can literally just put a postcode into a generator and then it'll do that whole Earth zoom thing for you from like street level right up to, you know, the planet essentially.
Yeah.
But for this, just to make sure it was high res and it was very specific to our location, I went on that overall map and then just took one screen cap and moved to the next until you had that full wide shot of Leeds. They were quite keen on showing the full city, but then also showing it a little bit closer to where the store location is. So you'll see as it zooms out, it hangs around a little bit when all you can see is Briggate, and then I think maybe just the general Leeds area. There was some things in the edit there that made it a little bit trickier, but I think make it a lot more effective. So you've got stuff like the acceleration, you know, like classic speed graph stuff. It kind of gets to a point and then it kind of softens a little bit, and it almost like bounces in place a little bit where it pauses. And then exactly nice. With this radial blur throughout it, just to kind of give it that sense of speed almost. And then
did you bring in this cloud effect as well?
Yes, the clouds are built up from scratch using After Effects, and that was just a few different layers of effects that allowed it to have this sense of movement and kind of softer edges on it. So they weren't built using PNGs or alpha layer stuff. It was all like native to After Effects to make it a bit more intuitive, but it was a tricky aspect for sure.
We can't hear it right now, but there's a bit of sound design used in this as well.
Yeah, classic stuff like whooshes to kind of build on the movement, and then there's a lot of ambience. The further out it gets into the sky, the more ambience I'm trying to bring in from, like, you know, city sounds, like birds flying past and stuff like that.
You had a vertical output as well, like 916.
Yeah. I think the only thing that we found tricky with the vertical output was when you get towards the end of the video, that point where it reveals Briggate, it's almost like it cuts off the details of the buildings in the 9x16, so it's less obvious what street it is. But there's a lot more of the opening shot of the unboxing side of it than I think we expected to see in the edit.
Because it's like what, you're 2-3 quarters in until it zooms out.
It's like the vast majority of what we were working on in edit occurs in like the last 5 to 10 seconds, if that really. But I kind of like that. I think obviously it's got more focus on the product, which is important to those guys, and I think that makes, when you go into the Earth zoom, that suddenly like all the more of a shock to the viewer.
You're not expecting that.
Exactly,
Nice. If you were to do it again, is there anything you'd have changed?
I would probably have prepped the like GPS imagery, and then through having that beforehand, get a little bit more familiar with the process of how do you stitch these together to make it convincing that it's doing that rapid zoom out. There was a couple of trials I did. I didn't do a full previs, but I'm sure I tested the technique out and watched quite a few videos to teach myself how to do it.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that Manto have done before, but it's not something we'd ever have done regularly.
I think it's a technique that we've used quite a few times, where it might have been a client who have multiple bases around the UK, so you're seeing all this drone footage of one base, and then suddenly it zooms out and then it moves across and then zooms back in.
Oh yeah, it's like XO.
Yeah,
there's different checkpoints for that.
It's nice when it's at that level as well. It's not like a full zoom out, but it's literally just the kind of local area of the city.
Yeah, it works really well for that.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Love it.
I like that they came to us with an idea. They knew exactly what they wanted. They want this kind of like unboxing, Earth zoom style video, but they had absolutely no idea how to do it themselves. So they came to us and we just solved that problem, went out there and did it, and then played a big part in their marketing for the new store opening. So nice little self-contained project, really.
Yeah, really nice. Great video.